And now, What's My Line? Brought to you by Stop at Spray Deodorant. Poof, there goes perspiration. Poof Deodorant Body Powder, the body powder you spray. The Nest Shampoo, the new flowing cream shampoo. All in the first truly functional cosmetic containers, far easier to use. All created by Dr. Jules Montagnier, the famous cosmetic chemist. Time now to enjoy What's My Line?
And now let's meet our What's My Line panel of well-known personalities whose lines you already know. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in the New York Journal American and papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And on my left, just thawing out after an exciting but frosty week in Ohio and Wisconsin, Bennett Cerf.
It was fun there, but it's certainly a pleasure to be back here between Dorothy Kilgallen and this other glamorous babe on my left, Miss Arlene Francis.
And on my left, a fellow who is simply dimply Hal Block.
I might say mutely, I thought you did it cutely.
Oh, thank you.
And on my left, my favorite master of ceremonies, a man who is 1 in a million. And 1 is enough for me, John Daly.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to What's My Line, presented by Stopette. Once again, tonight, we're going to have some people who've been kind enough to visit us and to bring with them some very interesting, we think, unexpected occupations to give our panel a run for the money. They carry home some prizes, I'm sure. We'll also have a famous guest challenger before the panel a bit later in the program. But now to start things rolling, it's time for the experts to meet our first challenger whose job they've got to spot. So will you sign in, please, sir? Albert? Martin. Albert Cohen. Is that right, sir? Good to see you. A very fine, clear hand. Where do you live, Mr. Cohen?
I live in the Bronx.
In the Bronx? That's in New York, huh?
That's right.
In New York. Well, you know all those people over there, but they want to know you a bit better. So would you walk down in front of the panel for me, please?
Hi.
Are those shoulders on the level?
May I see your hands, please? Thank you.
May I,
Let me feel that shoulder. Well...
may I see the razor marks when the Giants lost?
All right, Mr. Cohen, come on over here and sit down next to me now. And on the basis of your handwriting and this quick trip that you took down in front of the panel so they get a look at you, we give them now 1 free guess as to what your line may be. We'll begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
I think he drives a taxi.
Drives a taxi, Mr. Cerf.
I think he works at the Bronx County Courthouse.
Miss Francis.
I think he's an anesthetist.
Very good, Miss Francis. Mr.
Just
Block.
trying myself out.
I think he's a naval dentist. He's in charge of the captain's bridge.
No, I'm afraid nobody has it right. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mr. Cohen, and at the same time, we'll tell them what his line is. But panel has got to dig, as usual. Mr. Cohen, what happens from here on in is that every time you can give the panel a no answer, it costs them $5. We keep the record up here, 10 no's, and you have won the game. One last bit of help for the panel. Mr. Cohen is self-employed. With that, we'll begin the general questioning with Miss Arlene Francis.
Mr. Cohen, do you work indoors in your job?
Yes.
Is there any product whatsoever connected with your job?
Yes.
Is this a product that I would find in a home?
Yes.
Is it something that is useful?
Yes.
Is it also ornamental?
No.
No, I don't think it's ornamental. 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Block.
Is it something that, say, anybody on the panel might use?
Yes.
Would it make people happier if they used it?
You mean, would it make the user happier?
No, anybody happier if they use it. Like, say, their friends.
Well, he got the buzz that time. When you said they're friends, we'd make it 2 down and 8 to go. I think there may be some argument about this, but not much. All right, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, is this something that would be used by both men and women?
Yes.
Could it ever be used by children?
Yes.
Is this something that's edible?
Yes.
Is it something you'd eat at mealtime?
Yes.
Would you consider that this is an accessory to a meal rather than a main dish?
I would say it's not a main dish. Yes, it is not a main dish, wouldn't you say? No.
You did say people ate this, didn't you?
Yes, we said three people. Yes.
Is this something that might be put into or eaten with the main dish?
Yes.
Is it a type of seasoning?
Yes.
Is it something that originally is grown?
Yes.
Does it come in a bud?
Yes.
Is it garlic?
Yes. Now all you've got to do is tell us what Mr. Cohn has to do with garlic.
Well, he's self-employed, you said. Does he sell garlic?
Yes, I think we'll have to accept that. He buys and sells garlic. He's a wholesaler. Wholesaler in garlic. Well, Mr. Cohen, although you stayed faithfully away from the product which you brought with us tonight as an occupation, I'm afraid they did a little bit better than I thought they would. You have done fairly well with the prizes. However, we hope that more than that you had a good time, because it was good to have you with us on What's My Line, and thanks very much. Nice to see you. All right, panel, let's see what we can do with another challenger. Will you sign in, please, ma'am?
Any questions?
Rondi Stratton, is that right? How are you? I know Brother Block would ask this if I didn't, so suppose you tell us where you're from.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio. Well, that's far enough away, so you're reasonably safe.
Maybe a long walk.
It's a long walk, even for Mr. Block. Our members of the panel would like to know you a bit better, so would you be good enough to walk down there in front of the panel for me?
Slowly.
Would you turn around, please? I just did that for the boys. Thank you.
All right, Miss Stratton, will you come over here and sit down now, and on the basis of your handwriting and this small acquaintanceship which the panel has with you, up to this moment, we give them a free guess at this point as to what your line may be. We'll begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
I think she models pearls.
Models pearls. Mr. Cerf.
I think Miss Stratton is in Veronica Hutchinson's book department at Halley Brothers, advertising.
Miss Francis.
I think she's a receptionist in a men's club.
Mr. Block.
Well, I hope she's a ball player, because I'd sure like to get to first base with her.
No ball player. Afraid nobody has it right. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Miss Stratton, or Mrs. Stratton it is, isn't it? Sorry. And at the same time, Mrs. Sorry, Mr. Stratton. At the same time, we'll tell them what our line is. But, panel, you've got to dig. Mrs. Stratton, every no answer. I think you know the rules. $5 cost the penalty. Keep the record up here. 10 no's, you've won the game. One last bit of help. Mrs. Stratton is salaried. With that, let's begin the general questioning with Mr. Block.
I still feel bad that she's a missus. You deal in services?
Yes.
Do people come to you?
Yes.
Would you ever perform your services for me?
Yes.
Well, would your face and, say, your figure, would that figure in with the type of job that you have?
Not necessarily, no.
But would it have anything to do
I
with it?
would say this, that we'll give you a qualified, if Mrs. Stratton is, we'll give you a qualified no. I would say that her very charming face and figure probably have influenced the decision to use her services as her services are used. Well. So you go ahead, Mr. Block.
Are your services ever performed for more than one person at a time?
Oh, yes.
You ever perform in front of an audience?
Yes.
Well, when you do what you do you do it alone rather than with a partner?
Yes.
Well, would experience ever have anything to do with getting a job? Would you ever have to have...
Actually, no. I don't think that a record of experience is necessary. We'll give you a no on that. 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
When you're doing whatever it is you do in front of these people all by yourself, are you demonstrating anything to these people?
Yes.
Are you demonstrating anything that I might like to have?
Yes.
Who wouldn't?
Is it anything I could hold in my hand? No.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mrs. Stratton, you are demonstrating some product.
Yes.
Is this a product that is used by both sexes?
Yes.
Is it ever used by both sexes at the same time? Judging by the audience's laughter, is this product usually found inside the house?
Well, it would be found inside the house, yes.
Would it be most likely found in one particular room of the house? Most likely.
Most likely, yes. I think we'd give it to you on a most likely.
Would you say that that room would be the bedroom?
Yes.
You're getting into my territory.
Is this product, has it anything to do with the main piece of furniture in the bedroom, namely the bed?
Yes.
It has something to do with the bed.
Yes.
Is this a part of the bed that makes the bed comfortable?
Yes.
Does the...
You say the headboard now. You and I got to have...
Well, that wasn't what I was thinking of, John. I was thinking possibly of something that's underneath the form when you recline on the bed. Is that correct?
Yes.
In other words, to be specific, a mattress.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, you demonstrate mattresses.
That's absolutely... Actually, Mrs. Stratton demonstrates mattresses in store windows. Yes, Arlene?
In store
Well, I
window?
just thought that's a divine kind of a job. Those of us that are sitting up all the time would like to know how ever Mrs. Stratton got that kind of a job. How do you do that? Do you go in and say, this is how I look lying down?
Well, I test mattresses, or demonstrate them rather, for the Sealy Posturepedic Mattress Company all over the state of Ohio. In-store windows, doing pantomime skits and skits to records. And
Where is this?
well, the funny part of it is that last week, I believe, Mr. Cerf, you were in Toledo on Friday, and so was I.
And you didn't watch?
And you were having lunch with Mr. Kobacher, who heads the Tidkey department store where I was working.
Well, I wasted my time in Toledo.
And I think also we tend to prove that it's a small world. You also did only very well with the prizes, but we hope, too, that you enjoyed your visit. It was
Thank
nice
you,
to have
Phil.
you with us
Thank
and
you.
Watch My Life. Good night. Good to see you. And now, in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, we'll introduce our mystery guest. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity. Our guest would be recognized immediately by the panel, so as usual, we've supplied the panel with blindfolds. Are they all in place, panel?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? Now, will you join me over here? As you know, panel, in the case of our mystery celebrity, we get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Mr. Bennett, Cerf.
Well, we'll begin with the usual gambit. Are you in the entertainment profession?
Would you say that again, please?
I'd say, are you a member of the entertainment world? I don't hear a thing.
Well, we're having a little trouble. as a
Maybe
matter
the
of fact.
silent
Hold
man.
on.
Part-time.
There's a good answer, part-time.
You are masculine, are you not?
Yes.
Wow.
Very, very deep. And you say you're part-time in the entertainment world?
Yes, that's right, Mr. Cerf.
Would you say the other part was in the business world of some sort?
In the business world of some sort, that would make it 1 down and 9 to go. Miss Francis, please.
Well, to stay with the entertainment world for a moment, are you a performer in the entertainment world?
Yes.
Have you ever appeared in pictures?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Block.
Do you entertain people?
Very good, Mr. Block, yes.
I'm taking no chances. Do you ever appear in sports?
No.
That makes it 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Do you sing?
Yes.
Are you a baritone?
What was that, Miss Kilgallen?
Are you a baritone?
I'm a lyric baritone.
Ah, don't I know it. Are you also engaged in doing something that might be considered a little more important than just singing?
Yes, I am.
Are you a member of the Armed Forces of the United States?
Yes, I am.
Are you Victor Moan?
That's 4 down and 6 to go.
Well, now you know.
I wonder who is left.
That brings us to a musical show that I believe is current in New York now called Wish You Were Here. Have you ever sung anything from Wish You Were Here?
Yes, I have.
Has it been recorded by Victor?
Yes, sir, it has.
Is it the #1 record of the month?
No.
Hey, you better not fool around with this.
Miss Arlene Fred.
Is the more important work than singing that you have to do have anything with the United States Army?
It certainly has.
I don't know whether you're #1 with Wish You Were Here, but aren't you #1 with an awful lot of bobby soxers, and aren't you a very attractive sort of curly-haired type fellow?
Would you like to be alone with this boy?
Yes.
I'm glad to yes to all those questions.
Yes. I was fishing around for the name Eddie Fisher.
You did he? What a surprise.
Eddie, I know you're not only in the armed forces. If memory serves me right, you've just come back from Korea, where you've been singing for the troops up on the front lines.
Yes, it was.
Now, you're going to Europe, huh?
Yes, I leave for Europe November 1st.
November 1st, and you're going to do the same thing there that you did in Korea, entertain the troops.
That's right. Yes.
Good deal. Well, now, what do you think of Army life there?
Well,
Can you do it on the air?
The first thing I did when I entered the Army, I was sent down to Fort Hood, Texas, where I took my basic training, and then I was assigned to the United States Army Band in Washington, D.C. In the year and a half that I've been in the Army, I've seen the Army operate in many, many ways, and I can say that the Army does offer tremendous opportunity for many young men and women.
Ah, that's good to hear. You know, it's the accepted thing to always sort of kick the Army around when you're in it. It's good to hear somebody speak up for the Army because it's a darn good Army. It's ours. And thanks a lot for coming to see
Thank
us.
you very much.
Good luck to you.
Well, I think my business will be...
And now let's see what we can do with another challenger. Will you sign in, please, ma'am? Betty Gorman, how are you? Is it Miss or Miss?
This is
Mrs. Gorman.
We're in a rut.
We're in a rut tonight. Well, Mrs. Gorman, tell us first of all where you live, will you?
In Fulton, New York.
Fulton, New York.
Right.
Well, now, would you be good enough to take a small walk down in front of the panel, please?
What are you going to do about this, John?
I've retired for the evening.
All right, Mrs. Gorman, you come over here now and sit down next to me. And I think you know, on the basis of your handwriting and this chance that the panel has to get a rather quick look at you, we give them what is known as one free guess at this point. We'll begin the free guesses, as usual, with Miss Kilgallen.
I think she's a chief operator for the telephone company.
The chief operator for the telephone company, Mr. Cerf.
Judging by that lovely regular handwriting, I'd say she was the head of the Fulton School.
Miss Francis.
I should be disqualified, but she looks exactly like the hostess at Louis Petit's.
No, afraid that isn't it either. Mr. Block?
I think she sells hats for political candidates to talk through.
No, nobody has it right. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mrs. Gorman. At the same time, we'll tell them what her line is. But the panel's got to dig. All right, Mrs. Gorman, at this point, we run up the rules, which you know. Every no answer, $5. We keep the record up here. 10 no's, you win the game. We have a little less than 5 minutes to go, panel. We'll give you one more bit of information. Mrs. Gorman is salaried. With that, we'll begin the general questioning with Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Do you work for a profit-making organization?
Do you work for a profit-making organization?
No.
Small, very small. I know things are tough now, but actually there should be. Yeah, we'll change that. We do work for a profit-making organization.
Funny, she shouldn't think so. That should be a clue, but I don't know what it's a clue to. Do you work in an enclosure? No.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mrs. Gorman, does this company you work for perform some kind of public service?
Yes.
Does it supply people with something that they need very much?
It's an interesting question, isn't it?
Like mattresses.
I'm thinking of like electricity or gas or heat.
No, I think this is not as vital as electricity gas. I think we'll give you a no on that. You might want to criticize afterwards on it, and you'll do that. Meet you right after the show. 2 down, 8 to go, Miss Francis.
When you perform your service outside, is it in any kind of a vehicle?
In a way.
In a way, sort of.
There's a vehicle around, so to speak.
There's a vehicle around, Mrs. Gorman?
Yes.
Is it a four-wheeled vehicle?
Yes.
Do you have anything to do with conducting the vehicle?
Yes.
Punching tickets, you mean?
Now, that's what I mean.
Conducting,
Just let
you
me
mean?
alone, John.
Yes, Miss Gorman has something to do with conducting the vehicle.
Is the vehicle something that stops at certain stations?
Stops at certain stations. You mean specified stations
Yes.
which are noted publicly as a place to rest for a moment and...
I think I know what's coming.
I mean certain specified places where somebody else that might be in the vehicle might say, please, would you stop here?
I see. That'll
I
make
got
it
myself
3
out of
down
that.
and 7 to go.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. We have just a little more than 3 minutes to go. Mr. Block.
Then they don't have any special stops on your vehicle.
No.
You must love to ride. Does what you do have anything to do with health?
Yes, there's a connection with health. I mean, it could affect health.
Do you deal with both men and women in what you
Yes.
do? Do you deal with a certain part of their body?
No.
That would be 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Have we established that Mrs. Gorman doesn't necessarily have to be in the vehicle? That she can be around it, did you say?
Well, we have established that actually there is a vehicle in connection with the service or what have you that she performs, and that she is closely associated with the vehicle, but not necessarily forever in it. So, yes.
Would you ever wear something that is different from the costume you're wearing now?
Yes.
Would it be a type of uniform?
Yes.
Would it be of a light color?
Not necessarily.
No, I don't think it would be light necessarily. That's 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mrs. Gorman, am I correct in assuming that you do not need any special college training for the job that you have?
Yes, I would say you didn't really need college training, although there are some who've had college training.
Does your job involve the handling of money for any reason or other?
Yes.
Do you take money from people for something?
Yes.
In exchange for a service that you do not particularly yourself perform?
No, I would say that the service is performed to the degree that a service is performed. That's 6 down and 4 to go, and we have about 40 minutes to go. Arlene Francis.
40
We
minutes?
have 40 minutes to go.
Wow. Let's all relax.
Do you have anything to do with things that people might want to dispose of?
No.
No, that's 7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Block.
Is there anything romantic connected with what you do?
It'd be very hard to make anything romantic out of this, wouldn't it?
Well, I've been trying.
Wait a minute, let me see. Legend. No, wait a minute. No, I don't know. Actually, I don't think that we...
John, you're not a romantic soul.
Actually, our time has run out, so we're going to have to tell you, and Mrs. Gorman will win by default. She is a Lady Iceman or an ice lady. She delivers ice.
And there's nothing romantic in that.
Thanks a lot for being our head for What's My Line. It was nice to have you with us. Bye-bye. And in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give you a preview look at one of the guests whose line our panel is going to be asked to try and identify on next week's program. And next week at the same time, our panel of experts will be asked, what's my line by this young lady? Would you know what her occupation is? Could you spot her line? For the answers to these questions, a good many of them, and other questions and a lot of fun, be sure and join us again next Sunday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when once again Stopette invites you to play What's My Line? For other localities, check your local listings for the date and time of our weekly series. Until then, this is John Daly saying good night, Dorothy.
Good night, Bennett.
I'm going right back to Toledo. Good night, Arlene.
Good night.
And a happy mattress, John.
And good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network.